What's up, guys? I'm Taylor Welch from The Wealthy Expert. We got my business partner over there sitting in the corner doing nothing.
Biggest fan.
Let's talk about sales. Sales. The lifeblood of any business is sales. Whether you can ethically talk somebody and influence somebody into doing what is best for them and ultimately doing what you want. Let me just throw in a caveat. Can I throw in a caveat real fast?
Absolutely.
If you are a scam artist, screw you. Off limits. Off limits. One of my first mentors taught me that when you learn a deathly skill like karate, you could use that for good or you could use that for evil. I do notice a lot of people when they get good at sales, they tend to have a streak in them that they can, you can use what I'm about to show you today to talk people into doing something that is not good for them. Right? You gotta be very careful that you're committed to the best outcome for your clients. So a little bit of backstory, just to kind of give you some insight into what I'm going to teach you today. This is a sphere of influence. This took me 2,000 plus calls one-on-one with prospects to figure out. Now when we started, I didn't know anything about sales. My first couple calls were horrible. In fact, my first probably 300 calls were horrible. And it took me this nasty process of like people telling me one thing, doing another. If you're broke, you probably haven't figured out sales. If you're talking too much and people aren't buying, if you're spending all of this time trying to get people to give you money and they're not doing it, it's because you probably don't know what they want and you don't know how to overcome the roadblocks, some would say objections, that keep somebody from moving forward with you. All right? So fast forward, 8 figures in sales. We manage thousands of clients around the world, and I have successfully been able to put this into a framework to teach it. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the reasons people buy. There are only 2 of them. Thank God it's not that complicated. People have inner reasons, outer reasons, and then the roadblocks that stand in the way. They've got tangible roadblocks, intangible roadblocks. Okay, so within 10 to 15 minutes of being on a call, you should be able to use this framework to really identify this person wants this, this, and this. They're held back by this, this, and this, and be able to maneuver the call appropriately to land them at the outcome that you desire. One more thing, screeching halt. Don't discount this because it's like, oh, I don't want to be a salesperson. Oh, I want to be a salesperson. Oh, I want to be poor and just write copy. No, a lot of this is going to go into what can you do in your marketing to prevent these roadblocks. All right, so if you have someone who is maybe stuck in a tangible, they're stuck in these objections, you can actually deal with objections before you even get to the phone call, and it's called marketing. So I'm going to take you through it. There are 2 reasons people buy, inner and outer, and inside of these 2 reasons, there are 3 reasons that comprise why they're doing what they're doing. Okay, reason number 1, confidence. Confidence. It's huge. Confidence, another way to say it, is your faith in your ability to control something. So confidence. This is a huge reason why people will buy something or move forward with something. You think back to all the people who had real estate or investments or wealth in 2008, then the market crashed, they lost it all. What did they lose? A lot of these people never got their wealth back because they lost confidence, they lost faith in their ability to control the goings on and the circumstances. And so maybe you sell for somebody else, you sell for yourself, you teach somebody how to, make money or how to lose weight. One of the major things that people have to feel in order to move forward is a confidence that they can control it, okay? Number 2, significance. Significance. People want to have a place in other people's lives that matters, all right? So legacy and long-term impact. Okay, so a lot of this, a recent movement in like the online space is this goal of impact and impact and impact and impact, and that comes down to significance. I want to be significant when I'm gone. I want people to remember me, not because I want to be famous, but because I made an impact on people in their life. And then number 3, this is internal. These are the inner reasons people buy. Self-image. And self-image is, what do I think about myself? Let's say you sell weight loss training, okay? People pay you money so that they can lose weight. A lot of it is about self-image. Your market wants to feel better about themselves That's why they're buying. Everybody's different, and that's what you have to understand is this fear is more of like an adaptive, it's rotating. When you get on the phone, you should be able to identify, does somebody want to control where they're at, where they're going? Is their biggest hang up right now that they lack confidence? Or is it that they want to be significant? They want to be able to pay for their kids' college, or they want to, be able to give their children real estate or an empire or legacy? Is it self-image? Or they're like, man, I'm just fed up with myself. I hate the way I feel about myself, okay? All right, outer. We're gonna move through these quickly because what I really want to deal with is the roadblocks. All right, outer. You got 3 reasons that people buy stuff that's outer. Stuff. Number 1, you got a boat, want another house, want to buy a nice piece of furniture to house my wife's china. It's just stuff. People are extremely motivated by stuff. Anybody who tells you that they don't really care about stuff is freaking lying. Everybody cares about stuff, even Mother Teresa. The second one is experience. Man, I want to take my kids on vacation. Maybe, I grew up in a house where we didn't get to take a lot of breaks, we didn't get to take a lot of vacation, and I want my kids to not go through that. I want to take them on vacation. That's a little bit of significance, a little bit of experience. And then the third reason is huge, and it's very, very, very under-recognized, and people don't pay a lot of attention to it, is status. What do people think about me? Self-image is what do I think about myself. Status is what do other people think about me. And status is a major driver. Let me ask you this. Do you know anybody right now who has a house that's bigger than what they need, and maybe a little bit more than they can afford? Ding, 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 ding. You know anybody has a boat? Nobody needs a boat. Status. People want to engineer what other people think about them. My boy Chris Evans, my business partner, he rocks up the other day. He's like, I got a boat membership. Status. Bro, all you care about is what other people think about you.
Nope.
But you don't have a boat, right? Why don't you own a boat?
Why too expensive?
Because you're not dumb. Exactly. Status. All right, here we go. These are why people buy. These are the reasons that people do not buy. I can feel the money being made right now because of this video. Literally. There's money in my head that I can see people making. This is where we're going to get into the good stuff.
Are they taking notes? Yeah.
Chris wants me to ask you if you're taking notes. If you're not taking notes, you don't deserve to make money. So we'll see. All right, number 1. First of all, these are tangible reasons. These are tangibles. You can touch them. They can touch you. Tangible. This is tangible. I can touch this. Mindset's not tangible. That's the difference. Number 1 is time. Here's what I call these. I call these, you ready? I'm going to tell you what I call these. Shadow roadblocks. Just zoom in right here so that they can see that word, shadow, S-H-A-D-O-W. The reason I call these shadow roadblocks is because everybody has time. Like, I'm going to take you through these objections. I'm going to show you they're not even real. All right, these are fake roadblocks. And then I'm going to teach you the underlying roadblocks. These are the ones you got to deal with. Number 1 is time. People are like, I don't have time, or I'm moving, or what's another one? My mom, that's not time. that's a deeper issue. You need to get that worked out, man. People. Raise your hand if you got people in your life that have held you back. People. People's another one. How many of you heard this? I need to talk to my wife about it. Like every call, right? Everybody wants to blame this on their spouse. You want to blame your lack of success on your spouse. It blows my mind. But everybody says that. People's another one. All right? And then the third one, obviously, is the green stuff. Money. My guess is that 99.999% of you have dealt with one of these 3 roadblocks before. Time, people, money. It don't matter if you're selling real estate, if you're an insurance agent, if you sell training online, if you go in person, if you fix cars. It does not matter what you sell. This is it. These are the only 3 reasons that people do not buy from you on an external level. And you might be saying, well, hold up, Taylor. What about the person who doesn't buy from me because they buy from a competitor? Are they cheaper than you? Is the competitor... Stop listening to what I'm saying, trying to argue with me, It's one of these three things. I promise you. All right, let's get to the intangibles. This is where I want to spend most of our time today. I'm just getting warmed up. Belief, alignment, desire. These are the three intangible roadblocks that prevent people from buying what it is that you sell. Belief, of which there are two kinds. Number one is the belief that your process doesn't work, or that maybe someone else is better than you. You didn't do a sufficient job of actually showing them why you are the best and only option. Number two, though, is belief in oneself. All right, belief that, well, it may have worked for Freddie and it may have worked for Danny, but it won't work for me because I'm special. All right, that's a belief issue. That's number one. Number two is alignment. Maybe the things that you believe are not things that they believe, and therefore you're out of alignment with your market, and people aren't going to move forward with you because they don't think you take the same thing seriously that they do. Alignment is pretty powerful. If you get out of alignment with people, especially on a call, this is why, again, I'm basically teaching you how to ethically take advantage of understanding what influences people and make sure you're on the right side of all of this. Because if you know that somebody is feeling out of alignment, you can fix that in the middle of a call. But what we're going to talk about in a little bit is how marketing affects alignment. Number three is desire. You can put a little star here and say lack of desire. Lack of desire. All right, here's what I want to show you. This is really, really, really powerful. Let's say somebody doesn't have the time. They don't have the time. Okay? Most of the time is a shadow objection for desire. People, oftentimes, is a shadow objection for alignment, and money is a shadow objection for belief. Ooh. All right, I gotta get another piece of paper here. Well, I'm the boss. Oh yeah, very good. Very good. All right, let's say I rock up to you at Starbucks and I say, hey, yo, give me $100. Who's gonna give me $100? Not you. Not you. Nobody's gonna give me $100 because that'd be stupid. There's no value. But let's say you give me $100 and you believe that I'm gonna turn right back around and give you 110. You gonna give me 110 bucks? Absolutely you will. You're stupid if you don't. All right, this is how business works. If you can provide value that is economically suitable for the exchange of the money, you win. So if this is true, and most of you watching this, it is, the value exchange is there, because despite what people want to say about marketers and whatever it is you do, most of the time, the value exchange is good. You go into Starbucks, you're paying $4 for a $2 cup of coffee because that $4 cup of coffee is worth more than the $2. It's worth $4, it's worth $5, it's worth whatever you're willing to pay for it. Most of the time, the value exchange is there. That means when people say money is an issue, it usually is not a money issue. It is a belief issue. Either that themselves, they don't believe that they themselves are capable, or process. They do not understand how the process works. Make sense? All right, number one, belief in themselves, belief in the process. You say, Taylor, Chris, how do I engineer belief in my process? How do I get people, before they get on the phone with me, remember we talked about marketing and how marketing impacts sales. Here it is. Clarity and recipes. That's how you engineer belief in the process. Let me ask you a question. And so much of this is going back to just associating other things to bring it in so you understand this. Are you freaking out and concerned that if you pick up, let's say, the recipe book on how to make like a Thanksgiving turkey, you're relatively confident that that recipe is going to work because it's clear and it's a recipe and they explain step by step how it works. You have clarity, right? This is how you engineer belief in the process, is you make it simple, you give them clarity, you give them a recipe. What I'm doing for you right now is I'm breaking down my recipe for selling and converting. But what about themselves? This is a little bit more difficult because sometimes if somebody doesn't believe in themselves, they don't believe that they are capable, you got to go about it a totally different way. The way we do this is case studies. That may seem counterintuitive because you're like, well, case studies, isn't that going to really prove the process? No, it doesn't. It doesn't really engineer belief in the process. What it does is it says, hey, Billy can do it. Billy can do it. Taylor can do it. Right? Jesse from Scandinavia can do it. I can do it from Nashville. Case studies engineer belief in the person, which is why they're so powerful. Okay? You with me? Yes, Taylor, we're with you so much. All right, here's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone, let's just go back here, all right, who is low on the intangible roadblocks and high on the inner drive. Why? Because here's the thing. We know that these are shadow roadblocks. If somebody says they don't have the time, you know that it's really probably not that they don't have the time. It's that they don't have a desire. So you deal with that desire. Okay? If somebody says that they don't have the money, it's really not a money issue. It's a belief issue. So we don't really have to deal with these things. We just need to know that it's not the final story and dig down below into the actual intangible resistance points, the roadblocks. So you're looking for someone who, on a belief standpoint, on an alignment standpoint, on a desire standpoint, they have a low roadblock. And when it comes to why they want what they want, they're extremely motivated by these three: control, significance, and self-image. This is the sweet spot. No matter what it is that you sell, this is the sweet spot of who you're looking for to be able to enroll them or sell them into whatever you want to sell them into, because if their drive is self-image, there's nothing they won't do to build their belief in themselves. If their drive is significance, there's nothing they won't do to leave a legacy, right? If their goal is control and confidence, the worst feeling in the world is sitting down with their spouse or the people that they care about and actually exerting that they don't have any confidence, all right? This is just the way that it is. All right, belief, alignment, desire. What do you do, Taylor, when someone has a lack of desire? What do you do when someone has a total lack of belief? I told you about the case studies, and I told you about the recipe and the clarity, but what if that doesn't work? What if they're still having belief issues? What do you do if I just can't get people over this, well, people, I gotta talk to this person, I gotta talk to that person? What do you do if no matter what, you can't figure out how to connect why someone does what they do to the roadblocks that are preventing them from moving forward with you? What if there was a way that we could take 2,000 calls, actually more than that at this point. The clients we manage, Chris, what do you think? In the past 3 years, 8,000 strategy calls, 10,000 of everybody we've managed. It's got to be over 10,000 calls.
At least.
Maybe more. What if we could take that and build upon this framework, okay, to download that information into your brain so that you know where someone is on the desire meter, where they are with their roadblocks, and how to sync the two together so that whether it is a lack of desire, you can instill a better, stronger, higher desire. What if it is a lack of belief? All right, on the call, you can address that and build that belief before you even get to the close. What if it is a lack of time or alignment? What if it's any of these things? Are there ways to be able to handle these roadblocks on the call for the first time, deal with them before the pitch, and move people to this sweet spot where their intangible resistance is low and their internal drive is high? Yes, there is. There is a way to do that. I'm about to tell you about it. All right? About to tell you about it. Nobody freak out now, but there is a pitch coming. We believe so strongly in our ability to take this and break it down. We've done it with thousands and thousands of clients. I want to give you the opportunity to be one of those people. And it's called the Sales Mentor. It's a good ass name. Sales Mentor. And every single month, we get you training like this. And this isn't complete. This is just the first framework. My goal, I was like, hey, how can I give them clarity and the recipe? But, there's more to this. And we want to give you kind of this whole thing, and we want to give you training on a monthly basis. What would it mean to you if right now, let's say you're closing 10% of the accounts that you manage? What would it mean if you could get that to 25? All right, what would that look income-wise? What would that look experience-wise? What would that look, all of the things that drive you, this is where it starts. It starts with your ability to influence. It starts with your ability to overcome this BS and overcome the reasons that people don't take action and get them into this sweet spot that we're talking about. It's called the Sales Mentor. We give you training every single month. You get one-on-one access to a group of people who are in your corner to train you on how all of this works, all right? And there's nothing like it on the market. Is there anything like it on the market? Is there? I'm an ethical person. I would tell you if there is, but there's not. There's nothing on the market like it. And we're going deep into the psychological triggers that make people do things. All right, so what is Sales Mentor? Here's what it is. Every month, you're going to get a memo in the mail. This is not just a couple pieces of paper where we talk about the weather and stuff. This is a tactical, strategic memo about what's working, what's not working. And you got to understand something, that we are running hundreds of thousands of dollars through lead generation systems, putting those people through processes that are helpful, just like the content I'm giving you now. And we've got people that actually take calls and implement this stuff. So we're actually able to break down and synthesize probably learning lessons from dozens and dozens of people and condense it into a bite-sized training each month. So this is going to give you tactics on what to say, what not to say, how to say it, and it's just a place to put you in the right frame of mind. So much of sales is about how do you think when you get on the phone. All right, if you're like, no, money's rare and I'm in the depths of despair, you're not going to close anything. All right, the frame of mind sucks. So we're going to really use this as a way to make sure your mindset's in the right place. All right, so that's the first thing. Number two, one of the best ways that you can take information and use it to make more money. I'll never forget, I used to hated reading. And I found out one day that the more I read and the more I was able to take information and practically apply it and use it in my life, the more money I made. So you can look at me 5 years ago where we're literally canceling a date night at Taco Bell, my wife's favorite restaurant, because one of our cars needed an oil change and we couldn't do date night at Taco Bell and oil at the same time. To today, millions and millions of dollars generated, happy clients, great client relationships all over the world. People tune into us, we recognize authorities. It's because I've mastered the ability to take the mistakes that someone else has paid for and capitalize on them myself. Big, big deal. So we're going to select the best sales books every single month. We're going to read them for you. You're busy. You don't have time for that. You don't have time to read, right? Nobody has time for that. We're going to read them for you. We're going to pull out the biggest ideas. These are not book cliff notes. These are the big ideas. This is a debrief every single month on what is the biggest piece, what is the biggest learning lesson from this person's mistakes and this person's mistakes and this person's mistakes, and how can you implement them in your sales game to make more money, close higher, have a better life, okay? We're also going to give you the audio from this. By the way, we got a guy doing this who has been leading massive teams of people for 20 years. Okay, he was the VP of one of the biggest companies in the country, and he's going to be able to actually break this down and give you examples, real life examples of case studies when this actually happened. It's really, really good, these books. Then we're going to send you the actual books. You can read those if you like, put them in your library. This is one of my favorite parts right here. Call reviews. Would it be helpful if you could hear the actual audio of a live call with somebody on the phone with the prospect, and every couple seconds, every minute or two, someone's pausing the call and saying, here's what I would have done differently. The cadence here wasn't perfect. The cadence here wasn't good. Oh, here's where you lost this person's trust. Here's where they showed you that they had a time objection. You didn't catch it. You didn't deal with it. How helpful would that be? That would have changed my life when I was getting started in sales. I wouldn't have had to take 2,500 sales calls to get good. I wouldn't have had to waste literally thousands of hours on my dime. I could have learned so many things by having somebody say, here's a call, listen to it. I'm going to teach you through it, guide you through it, pull out the gold nugs, use it in your own. This is going to be audio. I'm going to give you a transcript of that as well. Every single month, we're going to put this in a little box here for you. See that box, bro? We're going to put it in a little box, and we're going to call the whole thing Sales Mentor. TM, don't copy that, we'll sue your ass. It's going to be incredible. The memo, the book debrief, the actual book, all right? Then call reviews every month, all right? These are high profile, very, very, very educational call reviews and post-call analysis and breakdowns. It will improve your sales chops. I freaking promise you that. There's no way that you could go through this material every month and not see a monthly uptick in your percentages. All right, you go from 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20. And we'll also throw in, we're going to be talking a lot about just the game of follow-up, how you really master your positioning as a closer, how you master your frame, and make sure that you're maximizing and really taking advantage of every conversation you have, every message you send, all of these things. This is the creme de la creme for anybody who makes a living from sales or who makes a living from the performance of their salespeople. So if you manage a sales team, get this for them. Why waste the time when we're doing all this work for you, all right? So this is great, whether you're doing your own calls, you're teaching a sales team, you're trying to hire salespeople, and this group is put together for you. So URL, it's gonna be on the screen. You need to try it out. You need to do it. You're losing money literally every second. Oh. You just lost money because you're still on this video. Yeah, I'm telling you. What happens when somebody figures out their sales? They freaking get rich.
Or they never have to worry about money again.
That's the point. That's where we are. Honestly, like when we freak out, it's like, oh my God, we're only gonna do 600 grand this month. Like, how are we gonna freaking buy the, Providence of France that we committed to? All right. Here's my thing. I'm happy that I had to go through this process to figure this out. But I promise you, if I would have seen somebody up here saying, hey, I'll teach you all this without you having to go through the shadow of the valley of death, then I would have freaking taken it. Because what was it? Like $140, and in return, I want to be able to command any type of price and control any type of environment and situation that I want. This is it. Don't sleep on this. Don't do it. All right, so who does this work for? Who does this not work for? Number one, let's say corporate sales professional. Probably works for them, say. Probably making money off of, if you're making money off of selling stuff for somebody else, you could probably use this to grow.
What about a realtor?
Well, do realtors have to influence people?
As far as I know.
I would say it would work pretty well then.
What about an insurance agent?
Insurance agents, do they have to use influence? Do they have to influence other people? Do they have to go into a room and say, let me reframe you and let me show you the cost? Here's a free tidbit. I wasn't supposed to share this. One of the biggest ways to bolster the desire is to show somebody a picture that represents the costs of inaction. That's how you bolster desire. I say, hey, Chris, you want to buy my new product? You want to buy my new product? It'll teach you how to buy a Lamborghini in 30 days. Yes or no? Say no. No. You don't want to. All right, hold on. If I can show you a picture of what you would have if you did have the Lamborghini and anchor you down to the cost of not having it, your kids aren't going to like you anymore. Let's say that this was real, though. You see how this would bolster desire. It actually takes a desire and it turns it inward, and you got all this desire building up. How do you do that? I'm not going to tell you here. You got to get into Sales Mentor. I'm just giving you a little sneak peek, just like a little bit. It's like, not too much.
Okay.
All right.
That was too much, by the way.
What else?
A little sneaky peek.
Who else?
What about coaches?
Oh my God, yes.
What
We've
about-
made so many coaches freaking millionaires.
What about people who work in corporate? They don't run their own company. Like,
Yeah,
Maybe they work in retail.
yeah. Well, most retail places, if your job is to help somebody while at the same time hitting a quota for a company, there is no better way to do this and know how to influence people in an ethical way. And here's the deal. When you start hacking into these three things, like what we teach in Sales Mentor, and you help somebody's belief go high, and you help, it can be something as simple as like, hey, these new pair of overalls, it doesn't matter. You're able to get somebody across the line in a way that is good for them, you're going to make more money. Because guess what? You're either going to get a bonus at your retail store, or you're going to say, screw this and quit. Go sell for somebody else where you can like actually earn an income that is worthwhile. You can sell cars, doesn't matter what you sell. That's what I'm trying to say. Doesn't matter what you sell. If you manage salespeople, if you do your own sales, if you sell freaking widgets, all right, if you sell like exotic soaps at the state fair, this is it. So here's the deal. My goal is to put you in a position where you can win. You can win. Whether it's improving your sales, like right now for your own company, whether it's improving your sales so you can hit quotas for another company, whether it's actually helping, the people underneath you sell better so you make more. My goal is to help you win, and this is the best way I know how to do it in the arena of sales. So just check out the link, okay? There will be some information on what this looks like, how it's delivered, all of those fancy things. And look, what I would say is there's very little risk in trying something like this and implementing it and seeing what it does for you. Because if it does work, great. And if it doesn't, you're out like a couple bucks. And it's one of those things where you're gonna learn something in the process. I freaking guarantee you. So click the link on the screen. It is just Sales Mentor, thesalesmentor.com/try. Okay, hop through that. We'll send you the first box in the mail. We'll get you some of these things here. Consume that information, implement it, get in and dive in and grab hold of it. And we'll help you get to where you want to get to, okay? Thanks for checking out the training today. This whole debrief will be explained more in detail as soon as you get in, give you the framework, all of the different roadblocks, all the different triggers, and what to say when you come up against some of these things. So try it out. We'll see you inside. Let us know if you have any questions at all. We're here for you, and I hope to see you inside soon.